Hello everyone, Corn here, and welcome to my channel. Started working on the cover of the journal, and you know how you are. You think, well, maybe I'll do a wreath and then do flowers around it in blue and pink, or maybe I'll do a crescent, or, and so I was placing them here and there and everything, and then I thought, my goodness, this might be nice, because as you see, the paper that I've been hoarding this paper for some time. I love this pink lace paper, and down the center is perfect, although I might put some lace behind there. But I thought I'd go this route, and I have a stamp and die set of the flowers. That I've never done that before, because remember, when it comes to stamping, I stink on ice. I'm really terrible at that. But I have the Tim Holtz stamp platform, and so that's what I was using. And yes, sometimes I had to ink up my stamp 3 times to get that correctly. But so this is what I'm thinking of going with, but you know, sometimes when you're working on a project, you think, well, wait a minute, let me try something else. So I've worked with some of the flowers already, but I saved back this set and this bottom pink one that I thought maybe we could do together. And then I don't want them two-dimensional. I don't want them to be too, to sit up like this, or you'll see. I don't work them a whole lot, because I really don't want them two-dimensional, because when the pages are in, the cover, they'll be sewn in. I want it to be able to go flat if she needs to write on the pages on this side, if that makes any sense. So I thought we would do these together. And who really inspired me to do the stamping first, and I've been working with paper flowers, as you all know, for years, but who inspired me to do it with the stamping first was Judy, who is my scrapbook loft here on YouTube, and she and Diane, who's crafting with Fury. I will list their channels down below in the description box. They both like working with the diamond dust, and so I got myself some. I was inspired by how pretty their flowers looked. So, and I had heard about it before, I just never got it until recently, and I got it on Amazon. So, let's do these and see what we get. So, how are you all doing? With me, when it comes to larger flowers, I use the Spellbinders tool in 1, and I use the large one with the larger ball on it. And I just go in circles on these petals. And because like I said, I don't want them to have too much dimension. Excuse me. On what I have here, what I'm working on, I've showed you before, and I have to show you like this because it's be a glare. It's silver. It says, consider the possibilities. This is a mouse pad that I got from Target years ago, and when I stopped using it, I thought, oh my goodness, let me try to work on the flowers with that, because I was, you know how when we could go to Dollar Tree and we could get like a little package, I guess about that thick, of the foam sheets? Well, I was just stacking them and using them. But I'll be honest with you, they didn't work as well because they still work. They didn't work as well because it really, you know, if you have to really bear down on this at times, it really made an impression in the in the foam, you know. So first, like I said, go into the petals in circles, and then just going from the center out. And then all I do, since I don't want them too big, I just go in the circle right here that was stamped out, right in the center. Just keep going around and around. Okay. And then this is what's going to go with that flower. I haven't glued anything down in case I change my mind. And I'm not going to glue those two together yet because I'm going to put some diamond dust on the edges of this larger one and on the smaller one too, right? Well, a little more on the smaller one, but on the edges of the larger one. So I wanted to thank you all for being so nice about and supportive about going to see those videos on the avocado dyeing. I did realize that I did not give like times and how many avocados I use and everything like that in the first video, because to be real honest, I like to do that if I'm happy with whatever I'm trying to accomplish. And I really think it was too dark. I think because of how long it was boiled, then on medium, then on simmer, and I had so many avocados in there. I really think I would have been happier if I hadn't cooked them that long and had not used that many. But that's why I didn't give that. But you know, this, when I show you what I actually ended up doing, y'all, was adding water to it. And most of the time when you make the dye, you don't want to add water to it. If you put anything like fabric and stuff that you have rinsed out, like with the laces and everything, those were rinsed in cold water first. You don't want them dripping. You want to wring them out really, really well before you put them in the dye, because you normally don't want to add to, you know. And I ended up adding to, not once but twice, putting more water in it because it was just so dark. And then, excuse me, and then I was happy with it. Loved how I think it was the third batch, or really second batch of paper came out, or the second day of paper, I guess I should say, came out. I like that. In fact, there is a piece of it in the journal. I added to the journal because who it is going to said, "Ooh, I love that pink paper." So I was like, "Oh, cool." And I wasn't going to add anything else because remember, I made so many things to put in it. And my spine is just, you know, it limits me from putting everything in there. So I'm going to end up just having to give her quite a few things that I made for the journal, you know, and just ask her if she wanted to put them in a journal she already has, or in a journal that she's thinking about making, because she did tell me she is gearing up to make some junk journals, which is so cool. There we go. So, what did I do? Now that looks like the wrong size. Did I get a different? I did. This is the small one. If you want if I wanted to go with yet another layer, I could do that. I'd forgotten I did this one already. This is the one that goes here. I was like, what on earth? This is too little. And, you know, if you want a third layer, you can do like so. And that's going to be too high. And I know that. So what is happening is this gets 2 layers. This one, this gets 1. I want the center one to be special. And then 2 layers and 2 layers. So that's how that's going to come out. So we have some paper here. There are all sorts of cute little things that you can put, excuse me, that you can put down here to collect your diamond dust, because you do have to be kind of careful with it. Not once it's on your flowers, but when you're handling it, because it is glass, y'all. Crushed glass. That's why it gives such a great sparkle, you know? And now when Judy works with the diamond dust, she uses art glitter glue. But when Diane works with it, she uses barely art glue. So I've worked with it once before, and that was, let me show you, I think y'all have seen it before, was this tag for the journal. And I used the barely art glue, and see, it's holding on. It's staying on pretty good. So let's see. I think I won't do all of them because I think you all might get really bored. But I will do several. I'll do both, and you know, the 2 layers in a blue and the 2 layers in a pink. And I did want to show you real quick. I'd gotten this die. Let me put them out like this so you can see them. From Amazon. Okay. And you know how you always, you know, you take them apart and you make them all individual, but I left them just like this. I put a sheet of mixed media paper on it and ran it through the die cutting machine. And left it, like I said, and so of course the mixed media paper was white. And then what I did was take the cracked pistachio distress ink, I took the Lucky Clover distress ink, and I took, because fall is coming up, the Bundled Sage Distress Oxide, and just took my daubers and, you know, and put the ink and the oxide on them, and then took my Ohuhu marker. I got these on Amazon months ago. It was either late last year or early this year, because they were running a sale on them. And I watch One Mighty R, and I also watch DI Art, and watching them live, and both of them are working. I'm not sure if DI used the Ohuhu or not, but I know Mighty does. Mighty says, and he does, he combines the Ohuhu and the, what's the really nice ones? I've drawn a blank. The really, you know, the best ones. The very expensive. Copic. And these are alcohol markers, and he combines the two, and he says they blend together beautifully. So what I did was, after I messed with the ink, then, oh, and I also used a more yellowy green here, a more olive green here. But I just came with the markers and did a little bit of shading and everything. Those guys really inspire you to start, you know, getting your markers out. I can tell you that. They're both very, very nice men, and they're fun to watch. And so here's what the paper, you know, I always have a paper under it. So here's where I was doing, you know, the inking part, pretty in pink. Sometimes I have fun just writing stuff out. But then I thought, you know, if someone were to say, you know, Corn, I just have regular markers that I got at 75% off at Hobby Lobby. I don't have those dies, but I want to do, you know, some leaves like that, or I want to do a project to work with that. I was just messing around saying, you know, you could just get out your regular markers or your colored pencils or whatever medium you would like to use, and you know, just showing you how you could just do them yourself and color them in any way you'd like. And if you didn't want to do the green, you could even do them in pink and just, you know, have fun that way. And I was going to use them actually on the cover. I was going to do a wreath and then use, you know, bits and pieces of these. I like to cut them too, not use them as a whole unit. And then I said no, because of the flowers, because this is more to me, except for the ivy. I love ivy. This is more of you know, like wildflower greenery, if you ask me. Not the fern, but especially this, you know. But anyway, I had fun with those, and I was inspired by One Mighty R and by DI Art. Their lives are fun. They really are. Even if you can't stay for a while, I'd recommend, because going by to see them, even if your art is different, they are still super cool to watch. So I would highly recommend them. They inspired me to do that. So let's grab these. I don't remember where I got my glitter paper, but it's strange. It's weird paper, and it has a weird backing. I couldn't even die cut it. I tried die cutting leaves out. These had to be punched. Not the blue. This is fine. It's the pink one. It's just weird. It's really odd how that was working. So my Barely art glue that's in this little bottle, and I did put the washi around it to remind me that's the one. That's the one you want to use. So all you have to do, and you can do like several at a time. You don't have to do all, because you don't want your glue to, well, unless you can get your glue out, you don't want your glue to dry up. Whoops, let me do this too. Hold on. I'm too busy talking. All right. I've got, remember Dollar Tree, we used to get these darling little spoons. That's what I use mine for, glitter and diamond dust. And then I'm going to go basically where, if it'll come out, because you don't want too much and you don't want too little. I'm going to go where the, I think I'll do two at a time, where the stamp is, and a little bit up the side, just a little. And this is just a piece of 20-pound paper so that I can fold it real nice and put it back. That's the way I handle it. Just flick it. Get off of there, extra. So I am basically almost following exactly where the where the ink is. Oops. So are you all starting to look towards fall, even though we're still summer for a while? I know some of my subbies love fall the best. That is their ultimate favorite. I used to love fall, but then I don't know. Because I guess, you know, I thought, well, I know it's going to get colder. And I don't mind the cold. I just don't like, my body doesn't like it anymore. I just don't like it super, super cold. You know, where no matter what you do, you can't get warm. It's like, am I having fun yet? Okay, so that's how that one, I hope that the camera is picking up that. And so that I don't repeat, instead of doing the top of them too, I'm going to do the top exactly like the bottom, so I'll show you. I know you don't want this to go on forever and ever because I'm just be doing the exact same thing. So what we'll do is we'll just do it on the blue and do it on the pink. And if I hadn't already decorated the inside of my journal cover, I would probably use a couple of brads, but can't do that now. I didn't even have these stamps and dies when I started the journal, so see, just a little around, well, that's quite a bit though, but just around the edges for the underneath one. And like I said, I think, well, maybe I'll do just one top one because I'm thinking about doing more than just edges. Although, when you have the stamping, it is so cute to see, like, see all the little dots and everything. That's kind of cute. Oh, I'll do two. There we go. Then one. And then comes the tweezers. There we go. Looks good on that blue, doesn't it? Whoa. Speaking of that, let's do this blue. And maybe, well, but I'm going to put a pearl or a gem or something like that in the middle instead of a brad. So maybe just go ahead and do like we were doing, because the little dots are so cute. I like seeing those, you know. you all had a good day today. Kind of worried about someone. I haven't heard back from them. And I'm worried they're not feeling well. I'm going to go ahead and do this on the last ones. Don't want to keep you here forever. Do you get that way, even if they've got lots of stuff to do, you still think, oh dear God, I hope they're okay. You know? If you don't hear back from them for a couple of days. Hope and pray she's all right. Definitely on my mind. Okay. So what we're going to end up getting is this will go like so. What y'all think? Do y'all like the way that came out? And let's see what it would look like. Ooh, on here. And then we'll put either a gem or a pearl or something goody in the middle. But I knew I was going to be doing these. I'll be doing the rest of them. Let me put this on my, cover up my glue for a second. But I thought you all might be interested in coming along. And like I said, I would highly recommend visiting Diane or Judy and seeing what they did. Judy's flowers are very, very dimensional. I think Diane's are too. And like I said, I'm trying to keep mine not so dimensional. And let's put our pink over here too. Show you some shine. And I want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.